All right, happy Wednesday. Got a thought today out of Psalm 26, 1 and 2. It says, "Judge me, O Lord, for I have walked in mine integrity." This is David speaking. He said, "I have trusted also in the Lord, therefore I shall not slide." Then he says, "Examine me, O Lord, and prove me. Try my reins and my heart." I had written a couple different verses down this morning, and this one specifically because it sounds like he's saying, hey, I'm walking in what I've done and my own goodness, but that's not the case, or he wouldn't have said, "I've trusted also in the Lord." Okay, we know David all the way from a boy when he was called to be king, when he was keeping the sheep out there, that he loved the Lord. So we know that he chose the ways of the Lord. Now, he did make some mistakes definitely later in life and along the way, but ultimately he was a man after God's own heart. So anyways, he was walking in that integrity, trusting in the Lord. And then he says, "Therefore I shall not slide." Also another evidence of the fact that he wasn't saying he was trusting in him, because we know God made it clear that we cannot trust in anything that man does, but only in him. So he says, "Examine me, let me get back on track." So I was thinking about times we're sitting in a waiting room at a doctor, and generally it's like hopefully just a wellness check, your yearly physical, your yearly checkup. And so there's not really much to it because everything's been good, everything's been consistent, and there's nothing really to report. But then there are those times when we're sitting there and maybe instead of being ready to just get back there and get it done so we can move on with everything, we're dreading going back there. We're thinking about the fact that I've not been doing what I'm supposed to do. I haven't been making the right decisions. I'm not taking the advice of the doctor. We're dreading or fearing going back there, and because it can be uncomfortable when there's bad news, or you think that you are possibly going to get a treatment. Like maybe you don't know what's going on and you're there to find out. Like there's all different reasons to fear, but usually it's because you're going to have to be transparent with what's going on. You're going to have to reveal some things. And then of course, fear of getting bad news, because a lot of times people go into the doctor for something, menial or small, and it's life-changing. You just never know. Nonetheless, as uncomfortable as examination is, we often need to be examined. And I'm speaking spiritually here, okay? I'm definitely speaking spiritually here. Yes, go to the doctor, get your physical examination, but that doctor is going to do some things. He's going to inspect, inquire, interject, imply, insist. There's a lot of things that he's going to do. He may ask stuff like this. Right here, change into this gown so I can get a better look, right? We're all naked and undone before the Lord, okay? So there's nothing to hide, right? He's like, don't hide anything. Put this gown on so I can get a better look at what are your day-to-day activities. Like, the Lord, we're to meet with him every morning, hopefully, and maybe even every night. Daniel met with him in prayer morning, noon, and night, right? We're to meditate on his word all the time. Like, what are your day-to-day activities? He may ask, like, what does your diet consist of? What are you putting in your body? What are you allowing to go into your system? There's a lot more that our diet consists of than just what we're eating and drinking. How about what we're listening to? How about what we're looking at? How about what we're putting our hands toward, right? What are we doing with our feet? Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. There's a lot of things. What are your diet consists of? What are your day-to-day activities? Let me get a better look. Number 4, are you taking your needed medications regularly? So there are some things that we shouldn't do, maybe that we shouldn't ingest, that we shouldn't, look at, listen to, touch. But what about the things that we should be doing? I am a type 1 diabetic, and so I live on insulin, and there are other medications at times that I have to be on, for asthma. Right now, this seasonal stuff messes with me, so there are specific medications, and every time I have to go into the doctor and they're like, "Are you doing this regularly?" and I can't say yes, I feel like a fool because they've asked of me. Now, I'm not saying I take every medication they subscribed. In fact, I got questions, I got remarks, I got rebuttals. We're going to do what's necessary and not what's necessary, but are you taking those needed medications regularly? Are you doing the things that you should do? And then what about what symptoms are you experiencing? All right, we're supposed to be honest. You know what? my head's been hurting. I've been crying a lot. I have a pain down in my right knee, whatever. I feel inflammation, I think I have arthritis, whatever. I've been nauseous. There's so many different symptoms. What symptoms are you experiencing from your life? What kind of fruits are you seeing day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year? Has there been a positive, healthy progression, or has there been a regression and things don't look so good and things don't look so healthy? What symptoms are you experiencing? We need these examinations. And again, I'm talking spiritually. And so we're going to read the rest of this Psalm 26. I read verses 1 and 2. But here's what David had to say. He said, "For thy loving kindness is before mine eyes." So I'm keeping my eyes on you, Lord, in your loving kindness. And I've walked in thy truth. We need to be adherent to what God says and to what his truth is. He says, "I have not sat with vain persons, neither will I go in with dissemblers. I have hated the congregation of evil doers and will not sit with the wicked." There was several things there. He said, I'm not willing to do these things, Lord. He said, remember that verse said, "I've walked in mine integrity. I've trusted also in the Lord. Therefore, I shall not slide," right? How is he going to prove and try his heart if it's not according to what God says, right? Or he's going to fail, rather. All right. He also goes on to say, "I will wash mine hands in innocency. So will I compass thine altar, O Lord, that I may publish with the voice of thanksgiving and tell of all thy wondrous works. Lord, I have loved the habitation of thy house and the place where thine honor dwelleth." So we see several things here. He said, I wash, right? I'm keeping my sin account short. Whenever I do mess up, I am confessing. I am seeking cleansing, right? And it's even more than that. Sometimes there are sins that we don't even realize we're committing, and we should still go before, Lord, reveal these things to me. Lord, wash and cleanse me of these things. We may say we're not sinning in an area and outright be lying to ourselves. We might believe it, but we're not going to convince God, who knows exactly what our sin is. He also said, I'm going to come before your altar. He said, I'm going to be in your house. I'm going to praise you, publish thanksgiving, your wondrous works. I'm going to talk about you. I'm going to tell people. I'm going to praise your name. He said, I'm going to be in the places you're at. I love thy habitation, thy house, and where thine honor dwelleth. I'm going to be in your presence. It's important to have this time with the Lord. He tells us, gather not my soul with sinners, nor my life with bloody men, in whose hands is mischief, and their right hand is full of bribes. All right, keep me from those wicked things. But as for me, I will walk in mine integrity. He repeats, but as for me, I will walk in mine integrity. Redeem me and be merciful unto me. My foot standeth in an even place. And the congregations will I bless the Lord. And an even place. It's not, while things are up and down in our lives, we don't have to be all over the place. We can be in that even place, doing what's right by God's mercy and grace, through his help, right? His provision. But we can also say, judge me, O Lord, for I have walked in mine integrity. I've trusted also in the Lord. Therefore I shall not slide. Examine me, O Lord, and prove me. Try my reins in my heart. This is always a good time for examination, because if we're doing good, great. Good. Be encouraged to continue to do good, to do better. But if we're doing bad, like I had told some teenagers I was talking to a few weeks ago, that the good thing about realizing that you're wrong or doing something wrong is you immediately get that opportunity, once you realized it, to change it and to do right, to make it right, to get it right with the Lord. And so examination is good. All right. Ask God to examine you, rather. Don't examine yourself. You're not the best examiner, neither am I. Be blessed.